I'm Joe, your tour guide for this episode, and this is Murderous, Mysterious, and Macabre. And tonight I will be telling my co-hosts Amber and Amy all about the UFO sightings in Wytheville, Virginia. Because we're in Virginia now, guys. Obviously, it had to be Virginia or Oklahoma for our next state. It had to be one of those two. Couldn't pass it up.
Yeah. We fist fought Amy over it, so
It
Virginia
was
won.
a pretty easy win.
You know, we so all wanted to cover Oklahoma.
Everybody, every last one of us actually truly loves Oklahoma.
Oh gosh.
The only trees I saw in Oklahoma the entire drive through that state was in Amy's neighborhood, which was built to have like a small forest.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I've never been so tunnel visioned in my life as driving across I don't even know what you would fucking call that. That's not the Midwest. Like,
kind of. Brett calls it the
I
Midwest.
think it's I think it's considered the Midwest. I mean, it barely it's kind of like a weird bridge between Midwest and Southwest, right? In my opinion.
Yeah. It's a weird mixture.
Yeah.
Weird place.
Too close to Texas for my comfort, but it is what it is.
I feel you. Texas was also not great.
Texas is my least favorite state. Well, one of my least. No, I take that back. I have driven through North Dakota. That is the world's most depressing state in the I literally think if you start on the west side of North Dakota, you can see all the way to the east side. Like it is the most flat, nothing state I've ever been in my life. But Texas is a close second for the states I hate to drive through because it's
shout outs to all of our listeners in North Dakota and Texas.
Sorry, guys.
Massive. You're like, I'm never going to get out of Texas. I'm going to die here in Texas. I'm never leaving.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about those states today.
Yeah. Also,
we had to get it out though.
It's been a while. For a while.
Oh God.
Today we're in Wytheville, Virginia, and reminder that you can find content warnings for the episode in the description below before I forget that piece, because it's been a while, guys. It's been a little while. But Wytheville, Virginia. You guys ever heard of this place before?
No. I can't say I have. No.
Yeah. I'm noticing that about especially the East, being on the East Coast-ish. It's there are so many towns out here because it didn't feel like there was really that much in Arizona. There's probably is a lot of little ones, but they kind of conglomerate into the bigger ones. And here it's so many distinct little towns, and I'm just no idea. And everything's so close together, so it's it's just all on top of each other. Wild, just wild.
Yeah. Truly. They all have their own little personalities. And even in Phoenix, you call everything Phoenix, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. None of us lived in Phoenix, but you call everything Phoenix because that's just how spread out it is.
Mesa's not Phoenix.
Yeah.
Surprise isn't Phoenix. Glendale isn't Phoenix, but it is technically part of the greater surrounding area considered Phoenix. Because it's just all so bunched together. There's no space in between them. There's barely even signs to designate when you were switching from one city to another in the greater Phoenix area. So, and sometimes they were in the wrong places too. Oh, good times. So glad I'm not there since it's still in the 90s and hundreds right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Late August, almost September, by the way, guys. Literally tomorrow is September when we're recording this.
They had a massive haboob the other day.
I saw
massive,
giant.
Saw that. It was
it's been a while.
Yeah, I was oh, this is exactly why I moved. I do not miss this nonsense.
It was so funny because it's it feels my husband and I talk about quite frequently how it feels we've moved away from a Mars terraforming little colony, and we've moved back to planet Earth with our move to Virginia, and nothing cemented that in my mind as watching the haboob in Arizona, the reel of it in the news. I was oh yeah, that's an alien. No one should live there. No one should live there.
That should never have been settled. I'm just saying.
That was a bad idea. Who did that?
Dumb white people.
Free air conditioning and refrigerators. Come on now.
Right?
What?
Flash floods, just taking your whole family away down the street. Who knows how often? Yeah, it was a great place. Great place, guys.
Never again.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Wytheville. After another tangent already within like 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes.
The tangent queens.
Oh gosh.
Anywho, so for most everybody who has not heard of Wytheville, Virginia, a little background for you. It's a town in the county of Wythe in Virginia, and it's named after George Wythe, who was a signer of the United States Declaration of Independence and a mentor to Thomas Jefferson, not Jefferson Thomas. Dyslexia. I did do a little background on the dude just because I don't know much about the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Sorry, U.S. education system sucks. He was a little problematic. He was thought of as forward thinking because he talked against slavery, but he did still own slaves. So
cool. That's
convenient
cool.
how that happened.
You know.
Yeah.
Before he died, he had released all of his slaves at the time, which the highest number I found anywhere was 20 slaves. Still, one is too many, but I guess it was a step in the right direction. I don't know. I'm not gonna. It's all of U.S. history is honestly very problematic. Anywho, more problematic. There were also some important battles of the Civil War fought there. Not going to go into detail on those because I don't want to go into the Civil War too much. But that's some of the history of Wytheville, so not a huge amount really going on there. And the population was at 8,264 in the 2020 census. So it's small, but it's not super tiny. It's bigger than the town I live in. So, I mean, obviously, I bought a rural property. Everywhere is going to be bigger than where I live. But it's still pretty small in comparison to other places that we are used to being in and that a lot of other people may be used to. Some fun facts. Wytheville's water tower is rainbow colored, which is the first image. You may now scroll to the first image page.
Heck yeah.
I actually passed by this on my way into the state when we moved here.
It looks like a little hot air balloon. I love it.
And that's exactly what it is. It's a rainbow-colored water tower designed to resemble a hot air balloon because this is a well-known landmark designed to resemble the hot air balloons for the Chautauqua Festival. I'm probably saying that wrong. I did look up how to say it, and I have forgotten since and did not make notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. Chautauqua Festival. It involves hot air balloon flights, making the tower's design fitting for the area. It's a significant thing that happens for them. One of very few, honestly, in my research, but it happens there. So if we want to see a hot air balloon festival at some point, we should look that up.
Road tripping.
There's also recently added, I say recently because it's on like its 4th or 5th year, an annual festival to celebrate today's topic, which is the Wytheville UFO sightings, which festival is typically in June. Not to center where I am on a map too much, but it's like an hour and a half away from me, which means it's not too far from you either, Amber, and Amy can always fly in because why not?
Yeah.
So we now have the Wytheville UFO Festival in June and the Mothman Festival in September, 5 hours away in West Virginia, that we've got to go to at some point in our lives. So
we are just going to put together a
road trip
map of the US, but it's just gonna be a bunch of festivals like throughout the year and all the crazy amounts of driving you have to do to get to each one.
Festival of the weird. Festival of the weird.
All the weird festivals. I'm so here for it. But yes, pretty recent. Other than that, there's an Unsolved Mysteries episode on this topic as well. There wasn't really a huge amount of not necessarily that there wasn't a huge amount of information posted, but there weren't a lot of different sources of information posted. So most of my info is going to be based on that Unsolved Mysteries episode broadcast from an 80s newscast that's available on YouTube and a dude named Danny Gordon, who we will get to. So,
okay.
Wytheville, Virginia, October 7th, 1987, setting the mood. It's fall, which we're looking so forward to here. Colors have changed in trees, weirdly enough. That happens places, apparently. It's chilly, you know? You can see your breath in the evening air. It's wonderful. Sightings began on this date, October 7th, 1987, at the main interstate junction of the 77 and 81 freeways. Funnily enough, first reported sighting was 4 sheriff's deputies and the local police chief, all former military men, who filed a report on the lights that they witnessed. I mean, not weird that policemen would ever report or say, or military men would ever report or say, but they're not generally like the first ones unless they're in airplanes, right? So,
I feel like,
little odd. They weren't the only people to see the lights that night. One of the other larger reported sightings of the evening was local teens that were holding a bonfire, which I Googled, and this was a Wednesday night, guys. Like, this area is so small that local teens are having bonfires on Wednesday nights because there's nothing else to do.
I love, though, like, I don't mean to interrupt, but, like, this setting, in the way this is set up, this feels ripe for, like, an 80s style horror movie.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Right.
Like, I'm kind of surprised I didn't find
it's all right there.
At least one that directly said it was based off of this,
because you have, like, the spooky fall, like, leaves, and then you open on, like, the police, like, what was that? And then cut to, like, bonfire and some teenagers that get abducted by aliens. Like, it's all there. Like,
it's there.
I just
it's all
gave it
there.
to you.
And October's like what? It's homecoming season, right? So these teens are just enjoying their homecoming bonfire, getting ready.
And suddenly, lights in the sky. What's going on? What was the punch spiked? I don't know. I don't know how these kids acted in the 80s. It's probably easier to get beer underage, though, let's be honest.
If it was the 80s, they were at that bonfire drinking some Mad Dog 2020. I could bring you some Everclear or something nasty.
God. Disgusting. Anyway, moving on from here, based on those sightings, a radio reporter named Danny Gordon, again, he's going to be a major player in this, he checked in with the local sheriff of Wytheville on that night and was shocked to learn that the Wytheville police officers had claimed to see a UFO. So he's just checking in for like random news to report, something interesting to get out there. He did tell the UFO sighting story, and he did make it kind of like, it states in a lot of his interviews as like a joke type story, because he didn't really believe it, right? Like, a bunch of police officers see flashing lights in the sky. What could it be? We live close to Washington, D.C. Couldn't it just be planes? Who knows?
We live in a small town. Could they be drunk on the job?
Who knows? But so Danny telling the UFO story, this got a huge amount of reaction from the public because it was seen by a lot of people. So there were tons of sightings being reported into the radio station. And this is part of why Danny becomes sort of the focus of the story. He is sort of, again, he's a reporter. He reports news, granted on the radio instead of the TV, because radio used to be a bigger thing he was the source. And so he got a lot of the calls, he got a lot of the information, and he lived in the area. And he did his own work and research and whatnot. We'll get to that as we go through. But again, with that, he's kind of one of the main, if only, kind of sources of this information. Not to say that there aren't other people out there who can tell you things about it. They just weren't radio reporters who did anything with it. They were just small town people living their everyday lives. There were police officers that did file reports, but other than that, there wasn't like tons of movies made off of it or TV shows. Like there's one Unsolved Mysteries episodes and the Eyes on Cinema News broadcast that's on YouTube. It's like 15 minutes long, and it's really also not super in-depth and interviews this Danny dude too for a lot of it. So what are you going to do? All of this information is pretty much coming from him throughout the rest of the story, which is why he's the focal point. And of course, not necessarily offense to him, but white dude, 80s mentality. They're the center of attention. So Danny eventually took a night on October 17th, not long after the first night, for everyone to just call in the station to report their sightings at once. They were getting in calls and they couldn't really keep track of what was going on, so it turned into, okay, we're going to have one night. Everyone can call in and tell us their stories. We'll broadcast this. We'll talk about it. We'll record information about it. And one woman claimed that the UFO was big and long and had several blinking lights and made no noise. However, a man on this night claimed that it was egg-shaped. Another woman said it was red and green with white flashing lights. Like, the lights would continue to be seen off and on. Like, there were tons of different versions of reports going on. And as we know, witness reports can all get a little bit fuzzy, especially because he set up this night on the 17th. That's 10 days after the original sighting. Things can get conflated. And as the news goes out, people start to call in with their own stories because they just want to be part of the action, They want their own 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, they want to be part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at us having a podcast. Who am I to talk? But
so the people just wanting to talk about things. Yeah.
Yeah. Just talk about weird shit, man. It's
making
fine.
Up stories and
It's fine. It's fine. Nobody cares. I
totally
care. Anyway, so with all of this, the lights did continue to be seen for about 3 more months, and they became so common. There's a reported instance of a woman named Mary Jane Williamson who was in that news broadcast on YouTube that I talked about. She actually moved a birthday party outside for everyone to witness on the front lawn watching the lights. It just became part of life. Like, oh, hey, look, there are the lights. Let's just go look at them. Cool. Like, what are they? Nobody knows.
Who knows?
But we're going to watch them anyways. Okay.
Nothing on the radio right now, so might as well.
Right, nothing too interesting. Just a birthday party going on inside, probably for a child.
I know. But little Johnny wants to open presents. Well, little Johnny can shove it.
He can wait.
Let's go look at the aliens instead.
How fun would it be to be abducted on your birthday, though, kid?
Oh, that would have been the worst.
Oh, God.
Just go outside and watch the lights and see if the aliens watch us back. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Poor Johnny. Anywho, Danny believed that there was a plausible explanation, of course, as reporters tend to do, and that it was experimental military aircraft, as one tends to believe. However, the military did deny that it was them, as they do.
As one does, yeah.
As I've covered a few alien stories at this point, they usually deny that it's them. However, they believed that it could have been planes refueling. Danny, contacting the Pentagon, learned that planes were not allowed to refuel that low in the sky, as the sightings were being seen in Earth, believed to, in terms of their estimates. So he's trying to come up with plausible theories. And as he tries to dig in more, they don't seem to stick.
Okay.
What are you going to do? As the cookie crumbles with these stories, you know? Yeah. So, with all of this now, on October 21st, Danny and a friend of his, Roger Hall, drove to the area of South Wytheville, where most of the sightings had been reported, and they weren't really able to see anything, so they started driving back. And while they were driving back is, of course, when they saw an unusual object on the horizon. Of course, once you're back in your car and you're no longer searching for it, that's when it comes out. Always. So they parked the car, got out, saw that it looked like a large craft flying by that was dome-shaped and had a strobe light on top. Danny also says he saw a red ball that went towards the craft and seemed to like dock with it. So like little ship to a mothership type situation.
Okay.
And the two were shocked to find they forgot their cameras.
This is why you don't send a man to do a woman's job. I'm just saying.
Seriously, I'm like, dude, that was your one thing. You're trying to get proof of this and figure out what they are, and you forgot your fucking cameras. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come
you don't
on.
have at least like a woman friend or a sister or someone who could like pack the car for you.
Yeah. Danny, you ignorant slut.
Oh man.
Danny and Roger both are ignorant sluts, okay?
Literally, I was just gonna make a comment about how, like, you know, I'm kind of digging Danny. I like the idea of like this reporter who's like, I'm gonna starts off like fun, like joking, and it's like, oh no, I'm gonna find out what this is. I'm gonna go get it, and then he like forgot the camera. I'm like, well, thanks, Danny. Like I believed in you, but thanks for throwing that out the window.
You just
like I expected you to be the hero of this story.
Danny,
failed me.
I'm ready for you. What's wrong with Yahoo? Sorry, Danny. I didn't mean that. That was very mean.
Sorry, Danny,
I shouldn't say. You tried your best, I'm sure.
You probably tried at least a little bit. I'm sure.
He got better. They learned from this mistake. So the next night,
okay.
The next night they went out again. Danny and Roger went to take pictures.
Okay, redemption arc.
And this time they were able to, and they were then shared with a press conference. If you go to the next page, there's a very grainy image from the press
80s.
Conference.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It was made for the following day, so it was October 21st. They forgot their fucking cameras. Goddamn idiots. Then the second night, October 22nd, they did remember their cameras. They learned from their mistakes. Good on them. They did get pictures. To October 23rd, they now have a press conference. So from October 7th to October 23rd, there's tons of sightings still going on, and we now have photographic evidence. The night before the press conference, though, Danny received an anonymous phone call from a person who claimed that the CIA and federal government were interested in the UFO sightings. And other phone calls he received told him not to investigate the sightings because they had to do with the government. So he's got some government officials telling him, no, this is not government. And then he has other random anonymous phone calls saying that they are.
Yep.
What's going on? And again, small town, everybody knows this is going on. Who knows? These could be prank calls. It's the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they had star 69 at that point. So, or caller ID for that matter.
Yeah.
You don't know who's calling you.
Yeah.
So, after the press conference, Danny returned home to find that his house had been broken into, and oddly, nothing was stolen. But Danny believes that somebody had broken into his home to take the UFO pictures, which if you go to the next page, you will see the images he is talking about that he thinks someone tried to steal. Not the best pictures, honestly.
No.
Super grainy.
Yeah.
The first one looks like they were moving at the time that they took the images, which like I guess is proof. One of them looks like a downward curve, which is kind of unusual, especially if you're taking a photo in momentary time. But that's what he had, and I guess someone thought they were important enough to try and break into his house and steal.
Yeah. God, this was like this is like a groundbreaking photo in the 1980s.
I know.
And that's
I know.
wild
I
to
mean,
me.
It was like the Stone Ages back then, y'all. We were tragic, okay? Tragic.
Truly.
Nobody walked around with a computer in their pocket all day, every day, on the ready. Like, dude's probably trying to like wind his camera with the film in it. Get the next picture.
I forgot about that. You had to wind it back up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And he didn't like double expose it or something.
Gosh, I don't know how we survived.
I know. But
we did. So this is very following with normal patterns of large UFO sighting incidents, CIA, Men in Black calls, anonymous visits from people breaking into homes, things going missing. This is all par for the course. So it's all fitting a usual UFO story at this point. So sightings continue. It's now December. On December 2nd, Danny, his wife, and daughter were leaving a local mall when people began screaming, and Danny saw a large object that broke into 4 smaller objects in the sky. So we've got another mothership situation, but instead of things docking with it, it's breaking into smaller pieces. Even weirder.
Yeah.
So like a Voltron situation.
Yes, like a Voltron situation. And he did take pictures of this Voltron situation as well. Before they disappeared from view. And the pictures of the objects surprisingly seemed to show that they changed their form several times, from teardrop shaped to round ball shaped, then disc shaped, and finally egg shaped before disappearing from sight. By the end of December, I'm missing a note in here. There was another break-in at his house, so we don't have those images. Someone did break in and steal those images before they could get shared anywhere.
But it kind of explains all these people having conflicting stories and seeing different shapes. If they can
shift their shape and their colors and whatnot, like, it does make sense. And it does make sense that a higher intelligent species could somehow create technology that works like that. I don't know what the thought process behind it is. I don't get the logic of it. But I'm also not on this supposed higher level of intelligence. So... who knows? It could have been their entire plan to make witness sightings discreditable. Yeah. Because they would all be different. Who knows? So, these images were stolen. We do not have them to look at, but according to him, from witnessing it himself and taking the pictures himself and other people witnessing it, it did change shape before it disappeared into multiple different forms, as well as the Voltron splitting into different pieces. So by the end of December, the UFO sightings had reached over 1,500 in the town of Wytheville. A Patricia Ackers claimed that she had noted 10 sightings from an area a few miles north of Wytheville that she also believed were strange objects, but that they looked like helicopters or airplanes but made no noise. There was a Rita Marie Vaught, who claimed she saw a UFO behind a ridge half a mile from her home, and that it was a circle object in the sky with strange lights. And then, of course, Mary Jane Williamson, the lady who moved people out onto the front lawn to watch the lights in the sky during a birthday party. She had seen several sightings above her home in the center of Wytheville. And she said that the UFOs she saw were typically large objects with several lights around them, a red light in the middle. And again, Danny called the Pentagon and talked to the defensive branch, and they claimed the government confirms that UFOs existed, but that they don't pose a threat to Wythe County. So we again have weird conflicting stories coming from different sources that are claiming to be part of the military or part of the government, and that they are or not threats or part of our own technology. March 19th, 1988, Danny was packing for a broadcasters conference in Virginia Beach when he received a call from a retired military intelligence officer, and the officer told him to record the conversation. So we're getting even weirder. And he said that he wanted this to be taped to show that he had warned Danny. His whole thing was like, look, I just want you to have evidence that I tried to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary shit, okay?
That's sketchy, for sure.
That's a scary fucking prank call to make to somebody, dude.
Yeah.
If that was a prank call, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit. But the man claimed that his son died of leukemia because of his UFO research. And he claimed that the same might happen to Danny because the government didn't like his research either. And the man believed that they wanted to quiet him either through chemical warfare or his children. Really bad fucking threats to be made, dude. Like, nice that you're giving a warning, but also, again, we don't have evidence that you are who you say you are over the phone in the 80s. So, also can't necessarily say that it's not a prank call.
Yeah.
However, the same week, there was a hepatitis epidemic in Virginia Beach. And Danny claimed that he would have believed the caller had he come down with the hepatitis, but both he and his children were safe. So weirdly enough, there was some sort of biological thing going on, not necessarily biological warfare, because we don't have evidence of that. It was just an outbreak of hepatitis. But neither he nor his children got it. So if it was meant to harm them, they didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on here, dude?
Yeah.
Anyway, so less than a month later, 2 visitors came to his home, one that interviewed him for about 45 minutes and the other taking photographs throughout the house. And they told Danny that they would send him the newspaper article they were supposedly interviewing him for, but he didn't receive it. So he called the newspaper, and they said the men did not work for them, and nobody knows who they were. It's further strange things happening.
Okay, yeah, we're getting weird.
Pretty sketchy.
Oh, there's more. A few weeks later, Danny went to catalog and organize his UFO photos, and when he went through the negatives, he found that the ones for the shopping mall were missing. So again, there was a second break-in at some point, and the photos from the December sighting were taken.
Yeah.
He realized that there may have been something in the photos that he was not seeing, and he took them to others to look at, but they could not discover why someone would want to take them in a review of, like, what they had seen in them previously, I guess. So 2 months later, the UFO stress caught up with Danny and he collapsed due to severe exhaustion. Mind you, no more sightings are really happening at this point. This is just months later and the aftermath of all of this and his involvement in it.
Yeah, of him like following the story of it for this long.
Yep. And honestly, fair. You're getting all these strange calls and people coming to your house and things getting broken into and stolen from your home. I get it. That's stressful shit.
Yeah.
So Danny was cautioned that continuing UFO research could jeopardize his health. Obviously, if he was passing out due to stress, dude, come on now. And so he, again, no UFO sightings since December of that year. And then a few more happened here and there. And from this article that I took this from, it says no sightings since December of 1990, and that he doesn't plan to do the UFO research anymore. There have been further sightings in Wytheville, but it's not to the degree that they had in 1987. So it's not the over 1,500 within 3 months type of deal. It's just been little ones here and there. And that can be said for really any rural area. You're going to have little UFO sightings that people, I mean, honestly, I could see some of them misconstruing Starlink for a UFO sighting out here. Truly. It's weird looking if you've ever seen Starlink pass by in the night sky. It's a bunch of X's in a line, and they sort of like, they seem to move upwards in like a certain geometric motion. It's weird if you've ever seen it. But they didn't completely stop. They just have not been in as large a number over short periods of time. So if you want to go through the last images, even though Danny was told to stop, and he did say he stopped in terms of continuing with UFO sightings and research and whatnot, he did receive multiple awards for his reporting on the UFO sightings, co-authored a book called Don't Look Up, and again, received death threats. His home was broken into at least twice, and he warns people to be cautious of their UFO research and reporting, but he does seem to have benefited from it in the long run. Not to say that he could ever have faked all of these sightings, but you know, there is the argument that there's a possibility he exaggerated some things when it came to like people coming to his house to interview him and take photos of his home, people breaking in and stealing photos and negatives. Not to say that it's not possible it happened. I'm not calling him a liar directly. I'm just saying there's speculation because of the fact that he's done so well, including the recently begun annual Wytheville UFO Fest has had him as a guest speaker. And his speech from, I believe it was 2022, is 2022 or 2023, I believe, is actually also available on YouTube to watch. So can monetize YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably got paid for at the very least being there. So benefited, but went through a lot of stress. Supposedly a lot of weird things happened to him, and there was just this huge abundance of UFO sightings over a short period of time in this small town. And we don't necessarily know what it was. There are theories on what it could be, from, again, him talking to, again, theoretically, because it's the 80s, who knows, but theoretically talking to people in the government, talking to the Pentagon, talking to people in the military. Some of them are saying it's not military, some of them are saying it's government related, some of them are saying it's not. It is UFOs, which we all know that the government fully declassified UFO sightings in recent years. So they're not denying that UFOs exist, and these could very well have been UFOs. But we don't have a huge amount of proof. We don't have a huge amount of evidence. We just don't have a huge amount of anything, despite the amount of sightings that there. So,
yeah, I'm just thinking like 1,500 sightings,
and
that's
a lot.
He's the only one who's like become famous from it. He's the only one who has pictured, like, so he's the idiot who forgot his camera the first time, but he got pictures. You're going outside for a birthday party and nobody's got a camera?
Nobody's got a camera on you? Yeah.
Right? Like,
these are going from October through December, and you don't take any further pictures while you're doing these investigations?
Yeah.
Nobody else has taken any. And again, that's not to say that they couldn't have. They're just not publicized anywhere that I could find.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Another reason to go to the Wytheville UFO Sighting Festival in June.
I guess so, yeah.
Check it out and see if they've got any further evidence available on display that's not on the internet.
I know. I just like think it'd be so funny too. Like, imagine somebody like just staying at their grandma's house, be like, "Oh, grandma, what's this old box of photos?" And it's just a bunch of like weird little like lights just hanging somewhere,
just
in
like
box,
all over.
Because they were like film too, right? Most of those photos would be film, so could be destroyed, could be like
or
somebody's just photo album,
acid,
like
the weather gets
closet.
to it.
Yeah,
but it, to me, like, also they weren't common. Obviously, they were very big, they were very clunky, they were very expensive, but there were still video cameras at this time. Like, it's going on for 3 months and nobody is like, I'm just going to have a video camera at the ready, just in case. Like, very strange to me. Very strange.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It makes me wonder, too, though, like, I can see it, though, because it's like, I mean, there's so many factors. There's one, like, how quick are the sightings? Because it's like, if it's a hassle to get this equipment, like, it's not as simple as pulling your phone out, right? It's a hassle to like go inside and get your camera, you come back out, the lights are gone. Or oh shoot, like,
I mean, if someone could
Johnny's
move an
school
entire
play
party
in the video camera, like, oh, I can't find a new tape, like, so there's that. And then you add on the factor too of like, it's all physical medium, it could have gotten damaged over time, so that reduces the amount we do have. And then you add in the next step of like, now you're asking boomers and Gen Xers to find a way to upload all of this to the internet in like today's day. Like,
not happening.
I can kind of see why we have a limited amount of evidence, like.
Yeah, for sure.
It is kind of strange, like you said. It is really strange that it's like only this guy's 3 photos that really just look like blurry little light blobs. But not so strange to me that like there's not a slew of evidence at the same time, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And like, again, to your point, I don't really have a lot differentiating amount of time that these sightings went on for in the individual sightings. I have it in terms of months that they were ongoing, but I don't have like, oh, it lasted for an hour. But if you have someone who's able to move a birthday party from inside to outside to watch them, they had to be going on for at least a few minutes for someone to grab a camera.
Yeah.
One would think.
Like it's just I mean, I guess you will have to go to the UFO Fest because like they dedicated his radio show to one entire day to people calling in. Where are all those audio tapes? Where are, you know what I'm saying? Like where surely like even if the radio station went defunct, like something has master copies somewhere. Like it's kind of weird.
And this is not the I mean, like you said, it's the 80s. It's not like prehistoric times. So it's like
it's not like the 50s or
these people are still alive. So where is anybody saying like, oh I was one of those original reporters? Like
it seems odd. Although I am going to go back to the same comment that I made when Joe did the Phoenix lights. With us being by a military base in Phoenix and knowing perfectly well, like you hear the aircraft long before you see it. You know, if you live in Virginia, if you're that close to Washington D.C., you are well aware of what a normal military aircraft sounds like or looks like.
Not like it's an hour and a half away from me west.
Okay.
So it's not like super close to military bases. It's only a few hours, and by like plane or helicopter or something, that's even less time. So it's still possible that it could be some sort of military base function, something. But you also have the military saying that it's not them. You, in fact, have the Pentagon saying, oh, yeah, that's just UFO sightings. They're harmless.
Like, that's kind of crazy.
What does that mean?
So, and also, like, I mean, you're talking about the 80s. It's the Cold War. Are they like, it was UFO sightings, but they're testing. Really, like, who knows? Who knows?
Testing something, or it's really the Russians, you know?
Yeah. Right? Like, the Cold War was a thing. We used to, like, literally do drills where they're like, oh, just tuck your head between your legs in the hallway of school. That's how you're going to survive a nuclear, like, it, I mean, it was, sure, I will.
That's how I'm going to survive a nuclear blast.
Got it. Thanks, Teach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, we need your mom to stop yelling at us. Yelling at us about it at parent-teacher conferences. So you got to do these drills, and I got to watch you do them. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Oh God.
No, that's crazy. I did like sneakily look up on a map just a bit ago, and it's like Wytheville is like, I can see what you're saying. It's not like right outside DC. It's like southwestern Virginia. Like it's like the part of Virginia that's like underneath West Virginia. So very like small town rural Virginia's.
Yeah.
What I'm coming to associate that like portion of the state with.
So it's odd. It wasn't like a super small town for it to be weird. Like I know part of the weirdness is the amount of sightings, because part of the theories of UFO sightings are they usually happen more over like metropolitan type areas. And this isn't a small town, but it wasn't 8,000 people, I don't think, back in the 1980s. I honestly did not look that up, but I highly doubt it was 8,000 people back then, like it was in 2020. So it's not the biggest town. It's not the same as seeing a bunch of UFOs over Washington, D.C. But still funky, still weird, and still a decently populated area where you would think there'd be more people with technology to get more evidence at some point. But I don't know. Who knows? They also could have just not put it out there because they heard everything from Danny on his radio station, and he's getting like death threats and shit, and they're like, well, I'm not doing that. No, thank you. I don't want to get involved. I don't want the government on me.
You easily have like, again, if it's all film and stuff like that, somebody like is like, I'm not messing with that, and they're just like, I'm just gonna drop that in the trash, and I'm not even thinking about it again. So
Yep. I know what I saw. That's all I need to know. I'm not getting involved. Yeah. 100%.
That's fine by me.
Yeah. Especially like, I don't know, that like small town mentality in the 80s. I could totally see that.
Everyone just clams up together and is like, we don't speak of this.
Yes, we see it. I know you see it. I see it, but like we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Lasted for a good few decades up until now, where they've recently started trying to use it to bring in tourists, essentially.
Yeah.
Like it is a talking point, and it is becoming more popular with podcasts and everything, but still a very odd instance. So I'm kind of on the fence of like, do I think it's UFOs or do I think it's weird military shit? Like it honestly seems to fit more UFO, and because there were so many people supposedly, I mean, we do have names of some who came forward with their witness statements, and tons of people who saw this, enough for it to record over 1,500 being sighted. Seems very UFO-y, very weird that we don't have a lot of evidence or a lot of other points of view or a lot of other people who did the same kind of investigating, but I mean, it's also the 80s. So, what do you guys think?
No, I'm torn. Because it is the 80s. Like Amy said, like we're kind of like, could be Cold War times. Like it could be, we're not right outside DC, but we're pretty close. Like it could be testing, like it could be testing anything. And you're just like, oh, I don't want to go all the way out to New Mexico, so I'm just gonna go like just tiny little pocket of like Virginia. We'll just test out in the fields there, but I want it to be UFOs, like not even just because like I'm telling you, like this would make like you embellish just a little bit more than it maybe already has been, and like this would make a kick-ass movie.
Oh yeah,
I can feel it. I can feel it
for sure.
I'm sure one will be coming down the road at some point with all of the remakes and whatnot going on with Hollywood, but
seriously,
the fact that it hasn't been done yet, but like the snowflake story from Arizona became 2 movies, I think.
Did it really?
Yeah. I think there were 2 movies about it.
That's crazy.
Bizarre. No, I want it to be true. I want it to be UFOs because again, like this has the makings. You can make a very like modern, campy space alien movie off of this, and I vibe with that. That's my stance.
I'm gonna go UFO on this one, only because what's tipping me is, even though there's no photo evidence of it, the multiple accounts of the shapes changing and the agreement on that. Like even if Cold War, even if they're testing some, there's no technology where the shape of something.
They don't have drones.
Of course,
yet.
there's stealth. It could be, I guess, if you're just trying out stealth technology and it's, I don't want to say glitchy, but not perfect. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I guess it could help account for that. But that shape changing aspect of it.
Like if you think of a Romulan warbird malfunctioning, where some of it is that glimmery trying to hide and some of it is still visible.
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't think that I just don't think the US had anything near that technology at that time. So that could make it appear even that something's changing its shape. So I'm going to go UFO. I'm with Amber. I want it to be, and I guess I was just looking for something that would tip it for me, and that's it. So
yeah.
All right. I'm going to say we're pretty strong on the UFO vibes on this one.
UFO vibes are strong. I'm feeling them.
Yeah.
They did try and provide other possibilities. They did try and contact government officials, the Pentagon, whatnot, and got various different stories, but that all still just points to UFOs and them not knowing what to say.
Well, it especially to me too, and it just clicked in my head because we were talking about like how earlier on how it's a kind of pretty standard like UFO fare, but in this one we've gotten half of the quote unquote government people or alleged government people being like, yes, it is UFOs for sure, don't worry about it, and the other half being like, there's no such thing as the UFO, stop talking, or like you'll be in trouble. But we didn't get weather balloons.
That's true.
So we didn't get weather balloons, and that to me is actually even more of a like,
Yeah.
Must be something. Must be
Yeah.
something
And
going on there.
it leans into the the 80s, the sort of like they weren't so polished that they're like, this is the story. Every time somebody calls, everybody's gonna say no. It's like you get the dumb young recruit to the CIA or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, it's UFOs. Sure it is.
Yeah. Don't talk about
it. He's not supposed to talk about that. Yeah.
What are we supposed to tell him it is? But it was a UFO. I don't. What are we supposed to
Why
tell
would
him?
I lie? What are you talking about? Lying's part of my job. I don't understand.
No, yeah, that's yeah. We've lost our ability to. If this government ever had the ability to cover up, like, long lost that ability. Like, there's no.
Oh yeah, no way now.
Oh God, the chaos. That's bad.
True.
I do believe it actually happened though, because nothing to me says real life more than an ineffectual government that can't keep its story straight.
Yeah, so, that's fair.
I don't know what it was, but this 100% happened. Like, I do believe that.
It's like the current Trump sighting debacle going on of like, oh, here he was. Oh, that picture was from June. Oh, here he was. That picture was from last week. What are you? Where is the president?
It's like, and it is too. I've seen one of them where it's like kind of very like overly grainy too.
Yeah. And I'm like, with today's technology,
UFO pictures, you're like, oh, I have a phone in my pocket that I could literally record a movie on for Hollywood. Yeah. Like, there's no way that's what the pictures look like.
Anyways, before we get too deep into that,
not going down that road. We're not.
We're
not traveling down that road. It's a whole different podcast that we won't do, because we do not want to get on a government watch list. So we'll just
or another 2-hour tangent about this. So once again, I'm Joe.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Amy.
And this has been Murderous, Mysterious, and Macabre. If you liked this episode, please consider reviewing and sharing our show. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you like what we do and want to help us cover more murderous, mysterious, and macabre places and stories, you can join our coffee, linked in the comments below. And that is it for our first Virginia episode, guys. Yay! Ooh. UFOs! We're back in the crazy.
Yeah. Back. My brain is back in the space it wants to be in, which is
This is the crazy I like.
I mean, this is way better than my brain just stagnating on work stuff. So
truly,
I will take it.
Yeah. Bye-bye. I guess that's all, folks. Bye.